Kabisado po ninyo yung Bayanihan 1, Madam?
Hindi naman po kabisado, sir, but familiar po with the provision.
Familiar enough to be able to answer simple questions, Madam?
Yes, Mr.
Doon
Chair.
po kasi sa Bayanihan 1, kagaya po ng tinanong ko kay Mr. Abreya kanina, wala pong binabanggit doon na kinakailangan patunayan ng supplier na meron siyang minimum requirements. Wala pong minimum capitalization requirement. Wala rin pong sinasabing minimum experience requirement ang Bayanihan 1. Tama po ba ako sa appreciation ko sa batas, Madam?
Doon po sa Bayanihan 1, ang provision po niya, procurement provision niya is section 4K. Ang sinasabi niya po doon is that certain procurement projects shall be exempt from the provisions of RA 9184, sir.
Yun nga po. Sa makatwid, wala po siyang sinasabing ano man doon. Minimum capitalization, minimum experience record. Wala pong sinasabi ron. Ang sinasabi, it is an exemption from the application of Republic Act 9184 and other related laws. Tama po.
Yes, sir.
So ang ibig nyo sabihin, yes, to sa sagot ko na walang requirements ang Bayanihan 1. Tama po.
In-exempt po niya from ano? Wala pong
Kaya
requirement
po,
particular po na minention except po for the exemption from the provisions of
kaya
RA.
nga po, maliwanag po yun. Bayanihan 1 o Republic Act 11469 categorically exempted the application of Republic Act. Okay.
Your Honor.
Kung po sa executive or the memo ni Executive Secretary, binabanggit po doon ay craft guidelines for procurement activities that are entirely exempt from RA 9184. There was a phrase.
Yes,
Do you
Your Honor.
understand that? That particular phrase was re-articulated in GPPB Resolution 6-2020. Yun ang sinasabi ko kanina, it was verbatim lifted from that memo, and you recognize that to craft guidelines for procurement that are entirely exempt from RA number 9184. You recognize that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then later on, gumawa kayo ng NPM number 004-2020 dated 16 April 2020. At doon nga ay nagawa itong GPPB Circular 01-2020. In this circular, Madam, you put this particular qualifying phrase. The procedure is similar to those provided under negotiated procurement under emergency cases under Section 53, Paragraph B of RA 9184 and Section 53.2 of its 2016 revised IRR. In referring to this, Madam, you negated the provision of Bayanihan 1. Ang sabi kasi ng Bayanihan 1, yung RA 9184 is non-applicable. It does not apply. And in the documents I read to you, you recognize that you will have to craft guidelines entirely exempt from RA 9184. Ang sabi mo kanina, pag gumagawa kayo ng guidelines, para linawin. Dito ang ginawa ninyo kabaligtaran. Sinalabo ninyo because you quoted particular sections of 9184 when the law precisely and categorically said you have to dispose of 9184. Yung pagkakabanggit ninyo kasi rito, ito ang ginamit ng Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. That is why they were insisting that you should have also relied on these provisions, whatever are these. Sinabi na nga ng batas, huwag nyo nang gamitin ito sapagkat nagmamadali tayo. Ito yung puntong gusto naming iklaro sa inyo kung bakit gumawa kayo ng guidelines that is inconsistent with the provision of law. Ang guidelines is only an implementing rule. An implementing rule, madam, cannot go against the mother law. Palagi natin sinasabi, if you are a lawyer, madam, the spring cannot rise higher than its source. Hindi ba? And that's the jurisprudence. Lim kite kong, etc., etc. The Supreme Court already told you about that. Meaning to say, the IRR or any guideline that GPPB will make should not be inconsistent with the mother law. The mother law is Republic Act 11469. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, if I may.
No, do you understand? Yes or no?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes,
So,
Your Honor.
Kung ganon, bakit kasi nilagyan pa ninyo that this procedure is similar to the blah 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 of 9184? The GPPB is one of the mechanism of 9184. Kaya lang na-confuse dahil nga nilagyan pa ninyo ng ganito eh. Ang sinasabi lang natin, tama naman yung sinabi ng memorandum from the executive secretary, you have to do simple rules, reasonably enough to curb corruption. But it should not be too restrictive because we are under an extreme emergency. That is so simple to understand. Ang naging problema ninyo, you even went beyond the wisdom of Congress. Can you imagine, exempt from 9184? GPPB is one of the mechanisms of 9184. Why did you have to put that phrase? Ito ngayon ang nangyari, kaya nung napunta tayo sa Senate, ginamit ng Senate yun. And even COA was insisting on this particular phrase that you included in Circular 01-2020. Yun ang kailangan linawin. Hindi naman sinasabi na kailangan nyo pang gawin yon. Okay, out of diligence, ginamit nyo ITR, mayor's permit, as what is that? The other one, omnibus. Yung OSS mo. That should have been enough eh. So, omnibus one statement, ITR, and mayor's permit. Tama na yun because that already complied with the memorandum of the secretary. Kailangan naman kahit konting diligence, meron naman tayo kahit nagmamadali tayo. But when you put Section 53B of 9184 and 53.2 of the implementing rules of 9184, ginulo mo ang buong pangyayari. In-include mo eh. Sinabi na nga ng batas, it has to be dispensed with. Everything else na gagawin ng Pangulo ay hakbang na kailangan exempted ang 9184.